I'm still not used to my new glasses, and I thought it was a crumb, but it's literally just the bottom of my glasses. Go me. Hey y'all, it's me, Cecilia. Welcome back to my channel. So what we're gonna be doing today is, y'all saw the title. You're probably wondering what the fuck does that mean. I just want to announce that I'm not gonna be doing any more wrap-ups on my channel. I am significantly lessening the amount of books I read a month. I'm just tired of like the monthly reading schedule where you have to like where you read a certain amount a month and you kind of every month have to be like, oh, this is how many books I read. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it, and I want to just read more at my own pace, not feel like I have to be like everybody else and read like 30 books a month. I don't like doing that. I don't retain books like that. It's just, I figure recent reads would be great, but I also want to talk about like the movies and TV shows that I watch, because I watch quite a couple of them, and I figured this would be a good way to mesh those all together. So I'm going to talk about 5 books each time, and then whatever movies and TV shows I've watched in between of reading those 5 books. So starting with the books. I read Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. So this book is about our main girl, Elizabeth, and she grew up in a library. And she lives in this library. She's kind of become one with the books, which the books are kind of like those books from, how I imagine them, were like the books from Harry Potter. But she's training and she sees Nathaniel. Her and Nathaniel meet, and Nathaniel's a sorcerer, and the library, wow, hi truck. The librarians hate magic, so they meet and shit goes down from there. My issue with this book. Glad I'm drinking tea because we're about to spill it. Wow, that was so cringy. This book suffered from having too much happen, to the point where everything just felt very rushed. This book totally could have, I think, would have thrived as a duology, and I think it would have been so much more effective, because I loved the first like 25-30% of the book. I was like, all right, you know, it's going off to a good start. And then stuff started happening, boom, 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 one after the other, where every event that happened felt very surface level, very undeveloped, and so did all of the characters. The only thing we know about Elizabeth is that she likes to read, and that she's tall. That's all we fucking know about her. The only thing we know about Nathaniel is his family past. Like, we know nothing about these damn characters, and you're supposed to make me root for them? No! I can't do that, no. And it's just, again, so much happened. The villain got revealed in the first third of the book, and I feel like so much could have been done more with it. Like, I swear, if we had a duology where like the first half, like towards the end of it, the villain was revealed, and then whole confrontation with that, and then the second book could have been the rest of the book, and it would have been beautiful. But no, this book shouldn't have been a standalone. I think it would have, I just didn't. I gave this 3 stars. Next book I'm going to be talking about is Wondersmith: The Calling of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. The second book in the Nevermore series. And the first book follows our main character, Morrigan, and she was born on the unluckiest day of the year. Now, when she turned, everyone like blames everything on her. And when she turns 11, it's like kind of fated that she's going to die. And on her 11th birthday, her main man, Jupiter, swoops in and takes her to Nevermore and basically starts helping train her to become part of the Wonder Society, which is like this big competition that happened. Love the first book, and I love this book too, but the only reason that this book didn't get 5 stars is because it was really lacking. Well, okay, this is more my fault. I read the first book in audio and I loved it, and I tried to read this book physically, and I've learned that if I start a series a certain way, I have to end it. So if I start it audibly, gotta finish it audibly. If I start it physically, gotta finish it physically, or just, I don't know. It's just, the experience is weird and it just makes me feel weird. The first half of this book I was reading physically, and it took me like 2 months to read the first half of this book, and I was like, why is this taking me so long? And I found it on my Libby app on Audibly. I checked it out and I finished the rest of the book in like a couple hours. And it was great. It just, I realized I just need to listen to it audibly. I wish I listened to all of it because this totally could have been a 5-star book, but I did give it 4 stars. Tea break. Next book is actually a graphic novel. This one is Open Earth by Sarah Mirth and Ava Cabero. Now this is a standalone graphic novel, and basically let me give you some context. There were these like group of scientists that left Earth about 20 years ago, saying that they were just gonna go get some samples and come back real quick, and they never came back because they didn't want to. They like left all their families in order to kind of do these experiments and just leave Earth. And we follow the new generation that has been born, that have never visited Earth, have lived in this spaceship. And they are very different from their parents. They really love, they kind of don't understand monogamy. They're all extremely smart as well. And it was just really good. It was nice to see polyamory in a book. I think this is my first time actually reading about polyamory that wasn't framed as in like a, I don't want to be tied down, I just want to fuck everybody. This was more kind of, it felt not more real, but it was nice to read, you know? It felt like good representation. That's what I was trying to say. But I thought this was fun. You know, I love that little sci-fi stuff, so it was great to read from that. And I think it was just a really cute graphic novel. I would definitely read it again and read more from these authors. But yeah, I give this one 4 stars. Now, time to get into some hard stuff. Everything else was kind of lighthearted, and now we're like, time to get into depression. Next, I read The Uninhabitable Earth by David Wallace Wells. Now, this book I really fucking enjoyed. This is a non-fiction book, and it really talks about global warming and climate change and how fucked up our world is. Basically kind of bringing in all these different avenues of just, we need to wake up. Wake up, people. Basically. And this was really good. I would not recommend this to people who have anxiety in relation to, like, if people get extremely anxious about like the future or about environmental issues, this book might not be for you, because the first 60% is very much of like statistics and facts saying we have fucked up this earth. And at some points I would be driving, because I listened to most of this audiobook driving to and from work, just being like, fuck. Just literally just like, well, cool, I'm starting my work on a pessimistic note. But it was written in a way that was very informative. It's written, I like to say it's dummy proof, where even though this is like a passion of mine, I learned a lot actually from this, learning about different industries that I never really thought about. Like, I really never thought about my impact with electronics and how bad the electronics are can be material-wise and labor-wise for the planet. I never thought about that. You might not think about how much your little tea bags are not very environmentally friendly, or you might not think about just like different stuff. You might not think about your gas, or you might not think about the kind of house you buy. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy about every little thing that you buy, every little thing that you do. It's a little harmful, you know? It's crazy. But I really enjoyed this book. My only gripe with it is that it really only talks about different ways that you can change how you live, or like how you can help, in like 15 pages. Not even 15 pages. In the audiobook, because I listened to this on audiobook, it was like 15 minutes. And I was like, okay, you're gonna worry me this entire damn book, and you're not gonna give like really any resources on like how you could help, which that's the only gripe. I understand, like, but that's probably not what he wanted to get at with this book, so I can understand why there wasn't much of that in this book. But it's still, I was like, what? But other than that, I really enjoyed this book. This is something that I could totally see myself rereading in like every year to just kind of refresh myself. I think this book either came out last year or this year, I can't remember, but it was really enjoyable, and it just opened my eyes up a little more, which is always good. I recommend that everybody read this. Like, everyone needs to read this just to like get off their high horse, just to realize about these. I don't know. I need to stop getting on my environmental rants, because that was literally the last video I made, so whatever. I gave this 5 stars. The last book I'm going to talk about was also a graphic novel. I was loving the graphic novels. They Call Us Enemy by George Takei. Now this book, fucked me up a bit. Now this, of course, is written by George Takei, who is from Star Trek. We all know him. We all love his catchphrase. We stand. But this is him talking about, like, this is a graphic novel memoir, and he talks about him and his family when they were in the Japanese internment camps during World War II. He was in the internment camps when he was a kid, so roughly when I'm remembering about younger than 10. Maybe he got it when he was like 12, but still relatively young, before he was a teenager. And he talks about his experience and his siblings' experiences, but also his parents' experiences. He used to talk to his dad a lot about how they felt about the entire experience. The art style is very simplistic, but the art style just kind of, it didn't need to be all that kind of thing. It just, the main draw is the story. And I was really gripped by the story. It made me feel very emotional. I feel like a lot of times I don't like to read about like World War II kind of stories, but I haven't read a lot about Japanese internment camps, so this was just kind of opened my eyes a little bit more. And it's crazy. It's crazy. This came out this year, really recently actually. I requested it from the library and I was the first one to read it, so that was awesome. But I really recommend that y'all read this. I gave this one 5 stars. I took a break to post a Bookstagram photo, so I figured I'd come back. So next we're going to movies. So, the first movie I watched was The Dark Crystal. If you ask me what this movie was about, I don't freaking know. If I would have to say, if you combine Lord of the Rings with the Muppets, that's what The Dark Crystal is. Simple as that. I wanted to watch this because I know that the Dark Crystal like adaptation like TV show premiered on Netflix not too long ago, so I figured I should watch the movie before I watched the show, and boy was this weird. The thing that got me, I mean, the set design was gorgeous, everything was just pretty, but then I'm also like, why the fuck do all the characters look so creepy? Like, look at this. What the fuck is this? Like, and then don't even get me started on like the acid looking vultures, like the vultures that look like they're on acid. Why does he have like 6 titties? I don't freaking know. I don't understand who the target audience for this movie is. If it's for adults, like the plot really doesn't get that dark, so it seems very tame for an adult movie. But if it's for kids, everything is just too creepy looking for kids. Like, this shit would have scared the shit out of me. No, everything was creepy looking. Yike. Yeah, but yes, I gave this 3 stars. Other movie I watched was Padman.
अमेरिका के पास सुपरमैन है, बैटमैन है, स्पाइडरमैन है, लेकिन इंडिया के पास पैडमैन.
Now this is a Bollywood film. I quite enjoyed this. Now, this movie is about this one man. He is very devoted to his wife. In India, feminine hygiene products, so like pads, tampons, all that kind of stuff, are very expensive and hard to come by. So most women use like these dirty cloths that can cause infection and can go so far as to make like women infertile. This man realizes this, he's like, or he finds out about this, he's like, I love my wife and I want to make pads accessible to her. She doesn't like this idea and a lot of things happen and she basically leaves him because he wants to make a pad like this. He goes through a lot of issues and stuff like that, and he eventually is able to make a pad for only 2 rupees when originally they're like 50 rupees. Big difference. And it was very inspirational. I really enjoyed this film actually. I don't have much to say past that. But I like this. I'm giving it 4 stars. I finished one TV show. Ooh. I watched She-Ra season 3.
What, are you too dumb to understand a simple question? Just point, genius, and I'll figure it out.
The season 3 was not, I'll tell you, season 3 is the best out of all of the She-Ra seasons. But it's still garbage. I feel like y'all have heard me rant about She-Ra a lot, so I don't feel like I need to rant about it more. The plot got a lot better. There was actually a plot. Oh my god, what a concept. The character development regressed. Our characters who we had gotten some character development throughout the seasons just went back to square one and even past square one at some points. To the point where I was like, what was the point and doing all that character development beforehand. There's a character death at the end that irritated the shit out of me, that felt very stupid and useless. Like, you can tell throughout the entire season that they wanted to kill off this character, because you could just tell throughout the entire season that they were just like, all right, cool, we're gonna kill him off, and we don't, basically trying to make him seem like a villain to the point where if people will like root them dying or something like that, or give him a redemption arc, and it was stupid as fuck. I thought it was just bad writing. Am I gonna watch season 4? Yes. I just so could be so good, but the writers are so shitty that it's just not good. And this is one of those shows where I literally don't understand why people like this. Like, please try to tell me, because there's no redeeming qualities. The plots is barely there. It's finally starting to get there. All of the character development is stupid as fuck. The characters are stupid as fuck. The animation is bad. The art style, not bad. I like the art style. But the animation's bad. It's just, there's a lot of failed representation. People say this show is like really great on representation, but like when they're either in one episode, or they don't, or they're shoved to the side and we just pretend nothing happens. There's a lot of queer baiting. Like, this is just not a good show. I gave this 2 stars. Wow, I ranted more than I thought I was going to. I finished my tea. Great. So yeah, that is it for me today, guys. That was my recent reads and wrap-ups. These are going to be, I don't know how often they'll come up. They'll just happen every 5 books I read, so we'll see how often I do these. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I'll see you in another video. Goodbye. Missing someone, missing someone.